So we're here with Hayden after tonight's 1-1 draw at Wingate and Finchley. Hayden, a point away from home never feels bad, but after playing against 10 men for 70 odd minutes, how frustrating was tonight?
It was really frustrating, there's no doubt about it, and I don't think that the point is acceptable.
Was that because of how the game went, or was that your attitude coming here tonight?
But the attitude of Kingstonian for me is you have to win. We understand there's a process that we're going through, and today you saw a team that's going through that process, that's for certain. But you know, when teams play against us, they're often going to play with a very low block. We have to have a better movement in front of the ball. We have to make the pitch big, which I think tactically we set up today to play with two centre halves. The two midfield players would sit in and dictate the game. That allowed the fullbacks to go really high. That then allowed the wingers to come out to in, with the 10 working next to the striker. When you play like that on a pitch this size, the pitch should be too big for anything other than to create chance after chance after chance. And the fact is, if you looked at the domination of the ball, probably wasn't far off 90%. You looked on another day, we could have had 2 or 3, but the reality is we have to win this game. We have to win this game. And the technicians in the team didn't play with a clear enough picture, and the decisions on the ball weren't good enough to continue to open up in a way that I would expect.
But on the balance of play, we also still had enough chances to definitely win the game.
Yeah.
Are you a bit worried about, 2 games in, the 1 goal we scored is an own goal? Is that down to chances being missed, or are we not creating enough chances, or a combination of the two?
Well, you've said yourself just a few moments ago that there was, enough chances to win the game. If you come away and you win 2-1, probably that question doesn't get asked. If you were at the game on Saturday, as I know that you were, I think it was pretty common knowledge. It was the general opinion that the best player on the pitch was Lewis Carey, Craig's goalkeeper. And on another day, you win both those games. So it's no drama. I always said that it's work in progress, but for us not to have 4 points out of these first 2 games is really frustrating. A lot of good stuff. Let's bring some perspective to it. There's a lot of good stuff, and I'm happy with the work with the ball in 2/3 of the field, but I'm not happy with the work with the ball in the final third of the field, and that's something that we have to improve upon. And as it is, you create 5 good chances on Saturday, you have to win the game. You have 4 or 5 really good chances today. You have to win the game. You probably saw better than me. I don't know how the chance of Dan Thompson at the end of the game didn't.
It's a great save from the keeper to get down that quickly at the end.
But the reality is, that has to go in.
Yeah.
And you don't win football matches at this level if you miss such easy chances.
Yeah. Are you learning stuff about your squad in those 2 games then, or is it just is it this squad isn't what I thought it was, or is it this squad needs to do better than it's currently doing?
I don't think it's either, really. Obviously there's new players in the team that are learning my way. Rob's embraced it very well. Louis embraced it very well. I think he'll be probably disappointed that maybe he didn't score tonight, but I think he's done very, very well. Sean Claresi fits the model very well. So I'm not concerned. I'm encouraged, but the reality is that games of football at this level are often won with fine margins. And honestly, probably it would have been an easier game if it was 11v11.
And I know it's frustrating that we've only come away from a point, but how encouraged are you by what's happened at the other end, where they've spanked one in from 20 yards with 3 minutes gone, and then they've not had another shot for the rest of the game against a back line with half a regular back four not around tonight? Yeah,
I think that's important to say. I'll speak honestly to you, as I will always to the Kingstonian supporters. From their point of view, it's a very good goal. From my point of view, it's a very bad goal. You cannot allow at this level someone to have a free strike 20 yards from goal, and there's enough bodies around the ball to stop that. You've got 2 centre halves that are too deep. You've got 2 central midfield players that are not engaging on the ball. If you do that, you run the risk of conceding goals like that. So I wasn't happy with it, but all of that said, you have central midfield player playing left back. The reality is that Cookie is suspended. Tutu is injured. So young Jerry has come in and done a fine job.
Yeah.
To make matters worse, Ben Harrison is injured. The cover for Ben Harrison is Jerry. The Jerry is playing centre half. So then the third choice left back plays. But I've got a lot of confidence in everybody. I'm disappointed with the players. I'm frustrated with the players, because if they had worked the ball as I would have expected them to work the ball in the last third of the field, you win these games 2, 3s and 4s.
So is that about movement, or is that about being too slow in possession?
It's about both. It's about the movement ahead of the ball needs to be better. The runs beyond the ball need to be better. And you have to play football in my way with a picture in your head. You have to play. You constantly hear me talking about open your shoulders. And the best players, the best creative players, they play with the antenna. They take a little look. They see what's around them. They work the ball. They anticipate the next pass. And let's be fair. If we're going to win football matches, it's a difficult way of playing. You know, we're not playing a stereotypical non-league way where it's a fight for the second balls and they're kicking it into the areas and they're flooding the penalty area. This is what we're doing. You would have seen today, hopefully Saturday. It's nothing to do with non-league football. It's proper football. But if you play proper football, you can't come away and have 80-90% of the ball and not win the game. So yeah, I'm philosophical about it, but I'm not going to hide my frustration, and I'm sure everybody was here today would share that frustration.
Was it more frustrating as well? Because it felt like in the first 20 minutes, there were moments where we did knock it around, and there's a moment where Dan gets into a really good position after some neat passing. There's another bit where Dan beats a couple of men, and then Reece is in, and then it felt like in the second half we weren't doing that at all and moving it quickly around. What was it about the second half? Now I know we scored in the second half, but it felt like we weren't opening them up as easily as we did in the first half.
I think you have to say that's why I say if it was 11 v 11, I think we would have won, because what happens is, and I go back to the first goal, when you concede a goal away from home in midweek in Wingate, and they know that Kingstonian are coming and they know that it's a difficult game, you can't give these teams hope. You can't give these teams something to cling on to. And because the defending wasn't good enough for the first goal, we gave them something to hang on to. So you could imagine if it's 0-0 or if we go and that's the first goal of the game, you probably win by 3s and 4s. But if you give some teams something to hang on to, as it happened in the second half, it becomes more difficult because the opponents get deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, even to an extent you would have seen for 25 minutes in the second half, from 65 to 90 minutes, they didn't even play with a centre forward. So that they just played with a 5 and they played with a 4. So that's where you have to tug them about a bit. That's where, like I say, you have to make the pitch big and you have to keep recycling the ball. But you have to be patient. You can't keep playing forward. You have to draw them out. You have to find the spaces, because if you find the spaces and you're patient and you play with the pitches big and you keep working the switch and you keep working the diags, in the end, tired legs, tired minds, they win the game. So a combination of, for me, not being clever enough with the ball despite just dominating the whole game, and giving the home team something to cling on to in the first couple of minutes. I'm here to win. You can't win football matches like that. It's an ill discipline, something that the team must learn.
Next up on Saturday, we host Margate. What do you make of that game?
It'll be a really tough game. I think I always said the start of the season would be really tough, and we should be prepared for that. Cray remind me of Carshalton of last season. I think that we should have won, but okay, we can be pragmatic and accept a point. Today, okay, away from home, it's a point, as you say, but it's disappointing. Jay Saunders will have Margate organised exactly like that. The one thing with Jay is that he will organise his team very well, so we have to be better with the ball because he'll know what's coming. We know the players Hornchurch have got, Bishop Stortford obviously a good team as well. So the start of the season is tough, but we look forward to Margate. We show really positive signs, but we show signs of him improving, and we go into Saturday's game looking to get the first win of the season.
Indeed, we'll see you then.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Nice one, mate.